After several months of not being able to set foot in the mountain region, President William Ruto has finally made plans to tour the mountain region in April. But it is interesting to note that the president has already been rejected by the residents of Nyeri even before he sets foot in the mountain soil.
Ruto tangu tumchague, na mimi mwenyewe ndio nilikuwa kwanza kumchagua, hakuna kitu ametufanyia hapa. Asikuje kutuambia mimi nimetenga sijui hii barabara sijui nini, akuja afungue mradi moja ile ametenga, hata hospitali moja ama shindano ya hospitali ametuletea hapa Nyeri. Ruto uongo wake umetufika mwisho, na mimi hata akikuja hapa Nyeri mimi sitakuwa Nyeri yangu ya kwanza. Akikuja hapa mimi sitakuja kumwambia ama niseme nini yake. Mimi sitakuja hapa kwa mkutano yake. Hata akiniita mwenyewe na simu yangu sitakuja kwa nini yake, kwa mkutano yake, kwa sababu ni muongo.
Now, after successfully orchestrating the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua a couple of months down the line, the mountain became so hostile to the president to the extent that the president could not be able to set foot in the mountain region. Now, residents of Nyeri have made it very clear that they want nothing to do with the stories of tumetenga, ndo maana tumeweka, ndo sababu hii barabara, and other short stories. They do not want to hear anything to do with tumetenga. All they want is to see the president launching successfully completed government projects. And this clearly shows us the degree and level of anger and lack of hope that the mountain region has towards the president. Ruto has been in office for about 2 to 3 years, and all this while, for 2 to 3 good years, the president has just been tangering, pangering, hii barabara imekuja hivi, ikaenda hivi, na ndo sababu tumeweka, tumepanga, tumetenga. And when he goes to a new place, when he tours a region, for example, Nairobi, we saw the president touring Nairobi city, and we saw him promise to deliver a machine that can make 1 million chapati. So Mount Kenya residents, actually Nyeri residents, have declared that they do not want to hear anything to do with this. They want the president to show them tangible products of his administration. And I think there's nothing wrong with these people demanding accountability from the head of state. We saw the president the other day touring Marsabit County, and he spoke the language of the Borana. We have seen the president touring Ukambani, and he spoke the language of Ukambani. We have seen the president touring the Abagusi community and the Nyanza, Luo Nyanza actually. We saw the president speak in the Luo. Now he's set to tour the mountain. Previously, the president was used to saying things like Mwadhani Agoshuo and other short stories. I don't know whether this time around the people are going to be very welcoming when the president stands up on the podium to speak their language. Time will tell. Because it is the Mwadhani Agoshuo that the president spoke that made the people of the mountain to love the president. The people were like, okay, this guy speaks our language, he identifies with us, he loves us and all, and so on and so forth. But later on, after the president grabbed power, what happened? He went silent. He orchestrated the impeachment of DP Rigathi Gachagua. Mount Kenya politicians have now been removed from very prominent committees in parliament. Ndindi Nyoro is a prominent casualty. Ndindi Nyoro was replaced by Samuel Atandi of Alego as the committee chair for budget and appropriations. You see, this is a very big blow to Mount Kenya. So what I expect is that Mount Kenya region is going to be very hostile, and I can assure you that it is going to be very hard, despite the politicians in Mount Kenya allied to the president. I can assure you that it is going to be very hard for William Ruto to convince the mountain that he is the man that is most suitable for the job again in 2027. We already see that he has been rejected by residents of Nyeri. It's an indication, it's a clear indication that these guys are not going to welcome the president. The president is not welcome in the region. Rigathi Gachagua has taken over the region as the supreme leader of the land. So if the president is going to set foot in that region, then he has to find out where Rigathi Gachagua is. They need to have a conversation so that the president at least can have a smooth landing. And I'm sure this will be done behind the scenes, because in politics, nothing occurs by accident. Now, the case of President William Ruto visiting Mount Kenya can be likened to a case whereby the husband and the wife loves each other. The husband disagrees with the wife. Alafu bibi anajam. Wakati bibi amejam, bibi anajitenga anakaa mahali pake. And then after some time, the husbands decide that despite this disagreement, she's still my wife. I have to go look for her. Despite all these tussles, all these conflicts that we've had between me and my wife, I have to go look for my wife. I have to reconcile with my wife. So William Ruto knows very well that Mount Kenya is a voter-rich bloc, and he needs Mount Kenya in order to become president, because Nyanza is not guaranteed, Western is not guaranteed, especially the likes of, Peter Salasya and George Natembeya are mobilizing people against the waves of the so-called handshake and the MOU that Raila Odinga and William Ruto had with each other. So Ruto is getting back to his old wife. He's getting back to his ex-wife, which is the mountain. He knows very well that in order to succeed politically, he needs to have a handshake with his ex-wife. They need to be in agreement. The ex-wife is not going to be welcoming, but there is no alternative. He has to go to the mountain because that is his wife. Bibi yako ni bibi yako. Mkosane, msikosane, she is your wife. I can assure you without fear of contradiction that for President William Ruto's April tour of Mount Kenya to be successful, he needs to have a conversation with Rigathi Gachagua, because what we are likely to witness is a situation whereby the president goes to the mountain. For example, if he starts with Nyeri, we have already seen the resident of Nyeri rejecting the president even before the president comes. If the president starts with Nyandarua, for example, we will see a situation whereby the president stands up to speak and to say things like tumetenga, tumeweka, and everybody will be saying wongo, and there will be a lot of heckling and noise making here and there, and the president won't like it. The story that will come out of it is that it is Rigathi Gachagua who had planned and sent goons to disrupt the president meeting, as we've seen. When Rigathi Gachagua is attending funerals, it is usually said that President William Ruto, or rather those who are close to the president, like the likes of Kimani Ichung'wah, have always been sending goons to go disrupt the meetings of Rigathi Gachagua. So we are likely to witness a situation such as that one, whereby the president speaks and there are goons all over the place, people are heckling, the meeting is all chaos and all that. But remember, this is the president and the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. So it would be interesting to witness the kind of, political tussles and circumstances that are likely to be experienced during that particular visit. Now, another thing is that for the president's visit of Mount Kenya to be successful, at least 30% successful, the president needs to identify concrete, valid, and justifiable projects that his Kenya Kwanza administration has worked on and successfully completed. If the president is going to the mountain to launch projects that had already been launched by previous administration, or to launch projects that had already been launched by himself, launching and relaunching, that is not going to sit well with the mountain. And if he makes a mistake of tagging along Raila Odinga to the mountain, things might even get worse. At the end of the day, guys, this is just but my opinion. Do let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more informative content such as this. I am committed to informing, educating, and entertaining in a manner that mainstream media cannot. If you like my content, please reach out to me through the social media links available at the description of my channel.